Hello, tubers and tubettes. This is David from Northern California. I was able to take those tires over to the fab shop, and they were able to take them for me, which is great because they just took up my whole bed of my truck. They're so big. And he's going to install them this week, he said, put them on. And I'm going to be surprised if they go on because they have such a deep backspacing on it. I think I'm saying it wrong when I say backspacing. I'm talking about the distance from the back of the rim to the hub mounting plate. That's really sitting way back there, 7 inches, I think. So you might be able to get them on there. I mean, they might look really funny because they're really inside, but I want to get them on there so we can find out what kind of spacers we need. He's also going to get me some fender flares. So those are going to stick out probably another 2 inches. And I would really like the tires to be out there. So I guess a lot of it is going to be how it all hooks up. But I know there's going to be some cost in terms of doing the spacers. And I know there's going to be some cost in terms of the lug nut. Because like the lug nut I have enough for 3. So that's, I have 24 lug nuts. And they can't even fit inside a regular hole on a regular rim. So and I'm sure the threads are not the same. But he can calculate and figure all that out so that I'm safe, driving down the road. But they are going to be really nice. I may have to lift my van a little bit higher to have these 34s on there. But, I mean, higher is not necessarily bad. I do have to do something about getting electric steps so that when you go to open the door, the step goes down. Because already it's really high up there. So, um, yeah, I'll have to do something about that. But I'm so happy that he was really cool about just letting me offload my tires there. So my storage unit is completely clear. Already went and told the owner I got everything out of there. I know I'm ahead of time on it, but actually 2 days ago and yesterday I was really, really sick. And in terms of a sore throat and just feeling lethargic. So even today I have like I have no strength. I feel very, very lethargic. And rolling those heavy tires up the ramp, that was a little hard for me. But we got them up. Everything's cool. It's over there. I don't have to worry about trying to store them at my house for, a couple of weeks or a month. Or so it all worked out really good. And I'm really glad he's so willing to help me out on stuff. So we'll get the tires on that. I am looking at this thing. It's called something buddy, a tailgate buddy, I think, something like that. And what it is like a step, and it folds up into the back bed of a truck, and then it's basically hinged off of the tailgate. You bolt it into the tailgate. So what I'm thinking is that would be really nice for my van. I'd have to make what essentially is like a tailgate, or at least some mounting places, and then or maybe a different hinge system so that it could fold up into the back of the van. And then when I go somewhere, I open the doors of the van, and then the step sets down. It's normally like $450, but I found one up in Roseville for $250. I was going to try to drive up there and take a look at it, but I don't really want to do a trip all the way up there. It's going to be at least $50 in gas, and then say, oh, I don't even want it, but I think I do want it. And I figured if I don't do it there, I could also do it on the side door. It just would be nice to have something that is a big step down so that I don't have to try to crawl up into this van because it's getting higher. The more I go, the more it's getting higher. I found a electric one too, which is pretty cool. It has 3 steps on it, and it's about the same price. Well, it is the same price, $250. They say they generally sell for like $1,000. I looked around, I found them for less than that, but that would be nice because it would sit like a box, on my side entry, and then when you press a button, then it would come out, it would extend out, and it would be 3 steps down. which I may need something like that to get in and out from the side part of it. But I'm not sure which is better. So the tailgate thing I really do like because it can go, once I open the two doors on the van, it's pretty wide. Not as wide as a tailgate, but it's pretty wide. So maybe I could have something like this and then cut it down so that it would be a step, to get on to the back of the truck. Another thing I thought about too is I thought about creating an outdoor shower there. So one of the things I needed for an outdoor shower is like a grate, where I could stand on it, just soak down, I could hose myself off, and then the water would just go onto the ground. So kind of like an outdoor shower, but I want to have it so that I can, put something around there so not everybody's looking at me. And I think I could have a canvas thing made for that. And then it could be a little outdoor shower for me. So if I get this bumper buddy or whatever it's called, that's one of the ideas that I was thinking about, for showering when I'm on the road in the future. So those are two things that I saw. Oh, I also saw a sun visor made by Lund, Lund, and I don't know how that would look with my high top. But it is nice to have a sun visor that goes over the windshield, so when you're driving into the sun, it helps, shade the windshield so you're not getting this direct sun into your face. But like I said, I don't know how it's going to look. So I found one on Craigslist for $100. And something like that, I could buy it for $100. I could try it out. It's not the actual one I really want. The one I want has like driving lights on it, like 3 in the middle, like a Hummer, and then 2 on the side. And it has an underside to it too. So when I look up from inside the van, I wouldn't see just raw fiberglass or just something painted there. So the one I'm looking at is $100. The one I would like to have is $400. So if I can put it on there and it looks pretty good and we can figure out how to chop it to install it where the high top is, then I'd feel more comfortable buying the $400 one and then getting it to fit and to look right. When you stand back and you look at it, I can look at it in a second and say, oh, that looks like crap. So that's what I'm going to try to do. That's another thing I want to try to pick up on Craigslist. So I'm not going to be doing any of that today because I just don't have the energy. I'm going to go back and got lunch for my wife just now. So I'm going to go back and kick back a little bit and then be able to rest and get better. So anyway, thanks for looking. Appreciate your guys' time. And I hope you're as happy about the rims as I am. I'm like super happy. Thank you much. Bye-bye. So anyway, I did have the feeling that the hub, might not even be close to the faceplate of the wheel because I've got to use this 4-inch spacer. But I went back there, I checked it one more time, and sure enough, it does have a hole for the hub. And it looks like it's going to fit over it. I mean, even if I mounted it directly to the lug bolts. So that's great, all the way around. I don't even think it's going to be an issue for me. But I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do it. The worst case scenario is it won't fit on my van. And in terms of the mounting plate and where the wheel is going to go, because I am planning on putting some fenders on it, not fenders, flares. And I wanted to be out, even with the flares. So it might have to be pretty far out there. But worst case scenario, I thought, well, I could always buy a new tire. They're 18-inch, so that's pretty common with the right bolt pattern and the right offset. That's the worst case scenario. So still, $600 for those tires. He had a spare for $175. And what was funny is that he had bought those tires that I saw like a year and a half ago. He didn't want to sell those because if he turns his car back in on the lease, he needs to have, those tires. But anyway, I ended up buying that spare and I got everything for $700 and some lug bolts. So I was pretty happy with the deal all the way through. So I had this idea, instead of having people come to my house, because I planned on selling some things, Here's the lug bolts that I got. So it has a pretty big flange on it. I might have to get some kind of special lug bolts like this with the threads that match my van. And I actually only have 3 sets of bolts because he kept one of them, our nuts. So my idea was, I think I'm going to go ahead and rent a storage space. That way I could put my stuff in there, and then I could list my stuff on Craigslist, which we did. We listed about 4 things on Craigslist. And then I just would tell people, I'll meet you at the storage unit. At least be the least amount of movement for me. But in the 4 that we listed, I didn't even get 1 call on it. So it might take a lot longer than I thought. And the space that I have is $170 a month. So at the time I was like, yeah, just pay it, that's fine, 170. But then I started thinking, wait a minute, that's a lot of money when I could just reorganize my stuff at my house and I wouldn't have to pay anything. So I did reorganize my stuff at my house. I took my hot rod off of the car lift and I'm going to put it under the car lift, which is how I had it before. Then I've got 3 sets of rims stacked high, and I've got everything filled out. So I had brought 3 truckloads to the storage unit, and I've already taken 3 back to my house. But just spending a little time restacking it a certain way, it fits no problem at all. So I still do plan on selling it, but what I may end up doing is just keeping 1 set out, putting it behind my Hummer is where I usually used to put it. And then people could come to my house and they'd be able to see them there, or I could load it up in my truck and then I could meet them at Walmart or something like that. Just trying to avoid people from coming over and ripping me off. And I have sold a lot of stuff from my house, but it just seems like it's getting worse, as time goes by. So today is my last load I've got to take out of here, and it's those tires. So I got my loading ramps, and I'm going to roll the tires up onto the truck and then check out from here just to let them know I'm all clear. So I'm a couple days early. And then I want to be able to take my rims over to the fabrication shop and leave them there and have them try to put them on my van so we can see how close these things are or whether I need the spacers or not. But if he says, no, Dave, I don't have the room to do it, then I'm going to take them over to my house, because now I do have space to put them, to put a set there. So overall, I'm really happy with the purchase. I think it's going to work. I'm going to have some heavy duty wheels on my van because I plan on loading it up, with my generator, my 60 gallons of water, and just a lot of ideas that I have to put on there. It's going to be heavy. So having heavy duty tires like that are going to be great. And since my vehicle does weigh less than 9,500, I think it's going to be nice to be able to travel all over the place and have these relatively brand new tires on them. I mean, they're 2025, came off of a vehicle that was 2025. So I don't want to be doing this, buying these old military. They're new. They say they're new, but they are old. If you look at the date on them, they'll be, 15, maybe even 20 years old. So I'm not going to drive around on 20-year-old tires. So that's what I'm here to do today. I got here in front of my storage unit. Going to spend a little time putting my ramps down and rolling them up. And I did get sick. I've been sick for the last 2 days, some kind of throat thing going on. So I'm super weak. I mean, it's pathetic how weak I am. But I'll be able to roll them up. I don't have to lift them. So I'll get those rolled up and then take them over to my fab shop. And then hopefully they will be able to keep them there and put them on my van so I could see it. So anyway, that's what's going on with VanLife. And thank you for watching. And I appreciate your guys listening to me. Thank you much. Bye-bye.